Hi guys, I am Paige of onehappyvegan.tumblr.com. My journey starts when I was about 9 years old. I was watching a lot of Animal Planet. I've always been super into animals, like obsessed with dogs from a very young age, obsessed with I just loved animals, and I watched a lot of that ASPCA show where they rescued animals from really horrible conditions, and I was 8 years old, and it was sad to see because I feel like especially when you're that young, it has an effect on you seeing. I feel like you see things for what they really are, and you can really see the innocence in things when you're that young. So I was watching these shows and I was getting upset, and I knew that it was wrong what was happening to these animals, and I felt so sad, and I loved these dogs, and I was like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I want to help these animals. And so I saw another show one day, and I don't remember what it was, but it was, I think, like an inside look into some type of, I don't know if it was a factory farm, I don't know what it is, but it was basically showing farm animals being abused. And I remember my little 9-year-old self getting up and being like, I'm going to be a vegetarian from now on. My parents definitely thought it was a phase, and they kind of just played along with it and didn't say much because I think they just figured that I would eventually just stop, so they didn't make too big of a deal. And I have 2 older brothers, so I was also teased a lot about my new decision to be vegetarian, but I kind of just was used to being teased. And also sometimes you have to realize that what you're doing is more important than being teased or feeling awkward when you go out to dinner. And the more you become comfortable with your decision, and the more empowered you get, and the more you understand why you're doing what you're doing and can fully own how important it is to you, then those things start to matter less. And when I first went vegetarian, I just did it cold turkey. I just cut out all meat, and yeah, I didn't go back ever. And it was just a part of who I was, so I think that I had a little bit of an easier time when it was time to transition into veganism, because I had been vegetarian since as long as I can really remember. And I started to become really passionate about being a vegetarian, so I started researching more and looking into veganism, and realizing that the reason I went vegetarian was because I cared about and loved and didn't want to hurt or exploit animals. And I was only becoming more passionate about that and those moral reasons, so I didn't really have another choice but to become vegan, because I do care so much about animals. The easiest way to deal with people giving you a hard time about it is to just become really comfortable and sure of yourself and your decision. And it's something that you can be so passionate about, because when you're really understanding why you're doing what you're doing, it's so black and white as to why this is why you want to live the way that you want to live. Because why would you want to cause harm to other living beings when you don't need to? In the end of 2008, I think I was 16, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna start making the switch. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna go vegan now. And then I would keep like forgetting, like, oh shoot, that has milk in it. So like I would have some slip ups here and there. And then finally, on January 1st, 2009, I was 16, I think. I can't do math. And I made it my New Year's resolution to just 100% go vegan and stay vegan. And I did. And it was amazing. And I'm really happy with my decision. And 100% in the beginning, it was difficult because you have to get out of a certain way that you were thinking and living, and a relationship that you had with food changes, and relationships that revolve around food, which most of them do, you'll realize very soon, they change, and all that stuff that comes along with it just kind of makes you a stronger person and helps you to realize who you are, and gives you I feel like it gave me more of a sense of self, and it gave me an identity when I was just a teenager and I didn't really have many things to cling to as my identity. And this was definitely one of them, and it was something that I was so passionate about. It's not hard, it's not scary, it's really amazing. It's something that really changes your life for the better in so many different ways, and ends up being kind of like the best decision you could make in your life if it's what you feel like you're drawn to, and it's what you feel like you want to do. And I feel at peace with the way that I'm living, and I feel like I have a clear conscience, and that's really a good feeling. I don't know. Finish this. Finish it.